Your problem is not lack of discipline. It is that you keep waking up after the world has already decided for you. By the time you open your eyes, your attention is already spoken for. Messages are waiting, obligations are forming, and the direction of your day has quietly been set by forces that have nothing to do with what you actually want. This video is about reclaiming the only window where that is still possible. The 2 hours between 5 a.m. and 7 a.m., when the world is quiet, your mind is clear, and your future has not yet been negotiated away. You'll see why these hours are not about waking early, but about self-command, about building discipline without relying on motivation, structure without pressure, and a life that moves forward because you decided it would. Because once the day takes over, it rarely gives anything back. You try to do what is expected of you. You stay responsible, and still something feels slightly out of alignment. This is not theory. It plays out in ordinary lives, inside quiet routines, in people who do everything they are supposed to do and still feel like they are slowly falling behind. One of them was a man named Ethan. He wasn't reckless, he wasn't lazy, he wasn't waiting for a miracle. He was simply living at the wrong hours and paying for it without knowing why. Chapter 1: Living out of phase. You stay busy, you keep moving, and yet progress feels strangely distant. Ethan was 38 when this realization settled in. Not suddenly, not dramatically, just a steady awareness that his life felt misaligned. He worked nights as a logistics supervisor at a distribution center on the edge of the city. From sunset until early morning, he moved through long corridors lit by fluorescent light, solving problems, checking systems, keeping everything running while the rest of the city slept. On paper, he was reliable, responsible, useful. Yet, every morning driving home while the city woke up, he felt oddly invisible, like someone moving against the natural rhythm of life. He slept through daylight, woke up groggy, rushed through errands, and returned to work already tired. Weeks blurred together, months disappeared. What troubled him wasn't exhaustion, it was stagnation. He was busy every day and going nowhere. And at times, he quietly wondered if life was meant to feel more deliberate than this. Chapter 2: The morning that exposed the pattern. Sometimes life creates a pause, not to stop you, but to make something visible. The call came on a cold morning just after Ethan's shift ended. His father had collapsed at home, not fatal, but serious enough to expose years of postponed care and quiet strain. At the hospital, in the dim light before sunrise, Ethan sat beside the bed of the man who had taught him how to work, but never how to stop surviving. "You still have time," his father said quietly. "But time disappears faster than you think." At 5 a.m., Ethan stepped outside. The streets were empty. The city held its breath. For the first time in years, nothing demanded anything from him. In that stillness, something became clear. His life was not broken. It was simply unprotected. And he began to sense that what was missing was not effort, but space. Chapter 3: The Man Who Woke Before the World. You occasionally meet people who seem calm and grounded, as if they're moving at a different pace. On the early bus back into the city, Ethan noticed an older man sitting by the window, reading. Well-dressed, unhurried, fully awake. His name was Hiro Tanaka, a quiet entrepreneur known for building several stable companies, never loudly, never publicly, always deliberately. Ethan asked him why he looked so alert. Tanaka smiled. "Because my most important hours are already behind me," he explained without drama. He woke at 5 a.m. every morning, went to bed early, protected the hours from 5 to 7 with near religious discipline. "These hours belong to you," Tanaka said. "After that, the world takes over." Ethan objected. He worked nights. He needed sleep. Tanaka nodded. "Sleep is not optional, but when you sleep is a decision." And suddenly, Ethan began to question whether the difference between them lay not in who they were, but in when their lives actually began. Chapter 4. The Architecture of the 5 to 7 Window. What if lasting change comes less from intensity and more from quiet structure? When they met again, Tanaka didn't speak about motivation. He spoke about foundations. "Life is built quietly," he said, "and always before anyone sees results." From 5 a.m. to 6 a.m., Ethan would build skill. One chosen skill, practiced daily, without distraction, not scrolling, not consuming, building. From 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., he would build the instrument, the body, the nervous system, the mind, movement first, then reflection, then planning, nothing else. And slowly, Ethan began to see how 2 undisturbed hours could reshape an entire life. Chapter 5. Discipline before identity. At first, resistance appears, in your body, in your thoughts, in familiar excuses. The first weeks were difficult. His body resisted. His mind negotiated. Every excuse sounded reasonable. But discipline did not ask Ethan to believe in the process. It asked him to show up. At 5 a.m., he sat at his kitchen table learning data analysis, slowly, imperfectly, methodically. At 6 a.m., he walked through silent streets, letting his thoughts settle before the day could claim them. Over time, something shifted. Action felt less forced and more like a natural extension of who he was becoming. Chapter 6. When the world responds. When change happens quietly, the world doesn't react immediately, but it does respond. By the second month, Ethan was different, calmer, sharper, more precise. At work, he solved problems others avoided. Quietly, efficiently, he built systems, improved processes, and slowly, opportunities began to align with the version of him that was prepared for them. He hadn't chased success. He had become someone capable of carrying it. Chapter 7. The Meaning of Waking Early. Eventually, waking at 5 a.m. stops feeling like an experiment and starts to feel like a boundary you value. 1 year later, Ethan still woke at 5 a.m., not because he had to, because he chose to. Those 2 hours were no longer a strategy. They were a line he didn't cross, a daily declaration that his life would be shaped intentionally. If you control the first 2 hours of your day, you control the direction of your life. Quietly, relentlessly, one morning at a time. Tomorrow morning, the alarm will ring at 5 a.m., and the decision it invites is not about waking up, but about how intentionally you want to live.